Eva Marcille's ex, Michael Sterling, soon to be ex-husband, is fighting for his life. Well, at least his marriage. He's fighting. Michael Sterling is really out here trying to keep the marriage intact.
He's fighting, y'all. He's fighting.
He's fighting, and we're going to talk about why he's fighting. It is your boy Gamma back with the lovely
Juju.
If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. You won't miss a video just like this. Like the video, share the video. Be ready to drop your comments below. So, we got to talk about the fact that Mike made it very clear that he's ready, able, and willing to fight for his marriage, right?
That's right.
Of course, we, touched on this or hinted, in the other videos we covered.
Right.
But we really never highlighted what a lot of people take that statement itself to mean, to represent what it stands for.
Right.
Initially we just wanted to kind of give him a little bit more,
benefit
credit.
of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt. We
Yeah.
took it as a noble thing. Like he probably might have been even wronged in the marriage, blindsided with the divorce, but he wants to still fight for his family and his wife. That's the way we took it initially.
Yeah.
But it's been brought to our attention. No, he's speaking out of guilt.
Yeah.
He's simply saying, I'm fighting for what I messed up. Fighting for what I've broken. And that's the implication on, that's what a lot of people are, taking that statement as.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, why he fighting so hard, because he know he messed up. And so we want to talk to you guys about that, man. If, in this case especially, infidelity was involved, whether it's for the sake of the relationship, seeing that if he could be forgiven and, he can redeem himself.
Right.
For the sake of the children, for the sake of the stability of family, do you guys think that you should or you could forgive someone that did that? I just want to know. Leave that in the comments, man. Because, I think the other issue is that, and I read this before, someone was saying how even if Michael did not cheat or step out the marriage.
Right.
Eva has the right to simply leave him because she's no longer happy.
Yeah. Ooh.
And that's a very strong statement. It's almost as tough to even respond to.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the logic behind the sentence. You're responding to like some
yeah.
kind of deep emotion right there.
Exactly.
For you to say something like that, like someone just has the right to end their marriage well because they want to.
Because they're just not happy.
They're not happy. They're bored. They're not. And so my initial thought was like, man, I don't want to argue what you feel with what I feel. I want to argue the things that should be cemented in what we're discussing. For example, marriage, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows that, okay, whether you believe in God, you usually get married in the chapel. There's usually a Bible. There's usually a mention of holy matrimony. Like that's just one of the deepest origins of marriage.
Exactly.
Is that it's a bond between you, your spouse, and God.
Exactly.
So with that said, the what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the requirements of marriage shouldn't be set by case or ourselves.
I
You know what
agree.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
You should be able to say, wait a minute, if someone's in a marriage, that's a lifelong commitment.
Yeah.
They knew that in advance, and they were still willing to go through it.
For better or for worse.
worse. And everyone looks at that part and say, man, if their worst is they just can't seem to be happy, they should just leave.
Wow.
I'm like, no, that's selfish. There's nothing that bad where you can't at least try to get help.
Do you see why I just cannot stand when specifically women say or put out the message to encourage other women to leave if they're not happy in a marriage?
Right.
Like, oh, it's your happiness. If you're not happy, just go. I truly believe that is such a deeply selfish action or mindset to have, right? I mean, it just blows my mind. Like, you're not happy, really?
Right.
And listen, I'm not saying be unhappy in your marriage. No, do the work to be happy in your marriage, right? Figure out what the issues are, what the challenges are, what's making you unhappy. Go to therapy if it's just for yourself or with you and your spouse. Like, make it work, because feelings, because you're just not happy. Like, listen,
And that fluctuates.
it
Like
always fluctuates.
sometimes, numerous times in just one day.
Look at a job. How many of us could say we are like thrilled to go to work every single day? Are we happy every day to go to work? But we show up. We show up when we're not. So it's just insane to me that women, come on, women, like, we are putting out this message. We're encouraging other women to just leave because they're not happy. How about, you know what? I'm so sorry that you feel this way, but really and truly, for the longevity, for the unity, for the love, for the joy of your family, why don't you put in the work and figure it out, right? Figure it out. So anyway, that's my little 2 cents when it comes to that.
Yeah. And again, for those that still listen to this and feel offended, let me make this part very, very clear. If you're not interested in a lifelong commitment, you don't have to get into one. You know, I don't like when people want to get into something and change the rules and make it seem like it's not that serious. Well, you can be friends with benefits. You could be, I don't know, boyfriend, girlfriend, on and off, open relationship. You shouldn't try to like create this new dynamic, because it defeats the purpose of the marriage.
Exactly.
It's just another relationship, and it's not, and we all know it's not.
It's not.
Right. You have so many benefits outside of just what the government may give you, you know, spiritually speaking, so on and so forth. So I don't like that concept of, it really doesn't matter. If one person feels a certain way, they should pursue their happiness. No, they are no longer thinking as just one person. If they're in the marriage in the right sense, and they're trying to do it right, that mindset shouldn't exist within them. You are now a part of that family. If you have a child, you know, within that marriage, that child is not just a part of you, it's a part of your spouse.
Forever.
Like, you create this newfound energy and you grow together. So you should never have this mindset of like, well, what about me and my happiness? Okay, you can get help personally. And that help shouldn't come in the form of another relationship with someone else. Unless it's just something that's physically and mentally, emotionally, and deliberately being done to you consistently. I don't like that being the first thought and option. Like, yeah, I'm not happy, I'm out of here.
Because that's a pattern.
Right.
You move on to the next, it's going to be the same thing with that other person.
And perfection doesn't exist. It's for better or worse, not better or best.
So,
or, you know what I mean? Not better or even more better. You know, you gotta, you gotta be there for the peaks and the valleys.
So I'll say this: when it comes to infidelity, because obviously, you know, that's what people are saying. You know, Michael Sterling engaged in, right? I would love to hear your take on it, Gamma. What then? When that's on the table, because here we're talking about someone not being happy, you know, they're bored, whatever, right? What about infidelity, especially when you have a family? When you what is your take?
No, see, that is that is the most serious violation. When you know, as far as the marital vows go, you know, so I can see why many people will find it difficult or even impossible to get over that. But like you said, if there's other components, maybe you have a family, maybe you spent a certain amount of time building a life with this person, and even the circumstances of what they've done, like how they did it, that matters too. One night stand, you know, they were drunk, blah blah blah, someone that they had no real connection to, but maybe you look back and say, man, I wasn't fulfilling that need. And they went, you know, there's so many reasons why some people will choose to either forgive and move on. And it's not all because they're just desperate, sad, or they don't have the strength to move on. Because it actually doesn't take as much strength to move on as it does to stay. And a lot of people don't consider that. You know, when somebody offends you and you offend them back, that's easy. That's a natural thing. You want to do wrong because of how you feel. Somebody offends you, you take it, you explain it to them, you forgive them, and you make them better, see, that takes a lot more effort. And so I just wanted to put that out there too, regarding what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And just to follow up as far as having a family, like you said, when you invest so much time, energy, right, into resources into your family, and infidelity takes place, it's variables, right? It's their nuances, right? It's not, I don't believe like, we, meaning, the public here, like, Michael Sterling allegedly cheated, so yeah, like she should leave him. I don't think that's cool. I don't think you understand what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It shouldn't be
you
like,
don't know all the details
exactly.
as to what happened and why, more importantly, why it happened. So
why? And that obviously is strictly between both of them, right? To discuss and figure out. But I'm a firm believer that it shouldn't just be like, oh, someone cheated, then that's your exit, right? Because you really have to sit back and really deal with this poor decision that was made in the marriage, but you really have to just think it through, like in every sense, right? It shouldn't be heading for divorce shouldn't be prompted or propelled by emotions, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Because there's so many things at stake, especially when you have little ones. Like, that's the thing that really pulls at my heart, is that they have 2 little boys, and they have a girl.
Makes everything that much harder and that much more heart-wrenching.
And I know people may say like, oh, well, the kids shouldn't be a reason. No. They should absolutely. Like, that alone even blows my mind. Like, they shouldn't be a reason to stay, or no. Like listen. There are factors, there are variables, there are nuances, there's so many things that are at play that both parties have to sit down and think it through and see if it's able to be,
Right. And like you said, the key word is factor. Factor. Some people feel like, well, the only reason someone is staying is no, it doesn't have to be the only reason. It can just be a factor. You know what I mean?
Should be a huge one.
Right. You don't want to make just only one reason, because when you do that, now you start to build resentment for that reason. So it could be a factor in a good way. And and again, it's all circumstantial. So we want to know what your thoughts are about what we spoke about. Leave your comment below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. You won't miss a video like this. And don't forget to like the video. Thank you guys for watching. It is your boy Gamma signing out with the lovely
Juju.
Until next time,
Escape the Matrix.